live, YouTube, the Charles Van Morgan Show. So we are live on YouTube. And today we're going to talk about social movements. As I promised you, we're going to a specific location. Turn this around. We're going to a specific location to show you Charles Van Morgan live, the Charles Van Morgan Show. Thank y'all for joining. Come on in. We're going to talk about social movements today. I don't want to fall down social movements, as I told you yesterday. And also we're going to a specific location to show you a point that we want to make about part of our social movements activities. So it's a little ways down the road here. Charles Van Morgan. We're broadcasting live in the morning. We're going to talk about social movements. So stay on board. We're going to talk about what we're about, what we're doing. We're doing unbridled news, Charles Van Morgan in the morning, and we are talking about social movement organizations. We're going to explain those a little bit, and if you'll hang on with me, we're going to a location where we're going to explain to you how we engaged in part of the activities of a social movement. So if you'll stay on board, we'll explain a social movement and how we can bring about positive change for you. So thank y'all. Come on in. Let's see how many people got here. So we're on the road again. Thank y'all for joining. So social movement organizations are a collective group of people. So that's you and me and whoever we can get. Just that can be two people, but the more the merrier. A collective group of people that are organized for change because of a strain, because of bad things happening in society, to where institutional channels don't work for us, and institutional channels don't work for us. And this applies to people all over the world. Social movements have brought about enduring significant good for humanity when rogue systems of power take over and the public is left out. So we're going to talk about social movements, going to a location where we engaged in social movement activity. So we're on it. We are set on accomplishing this social movement. So Charles Van Morgan Live. Stay tuned for the channel. Some really good information. Very exciting show. Something I'm very excited and passionate about, and I hope to pass on some of that passion to you all. Now, this is not about anything illegal, anything violent, or anything breaking any laws. This is about social movements, and I'm going to explain it to you. Let's see if we got anybody on here. Come on board. Thank y'all for joining me. We'll look at subscribe, comment if you like us so far. It does get better, and we'll see if we got any comments, see how many people got on here. We're talking about social movements today, going to a location. If you'll hang on with me, I'll explain to you where we engaged in social movement activity. Come on board, and we'll explain the elements of a social movement and talk about some of the tactics. We're not going to talk about all of them. Why not? Because this is broadcast live all over the world to everybody. And antagonists, and I'll explain what they are listening to, so we don't want to give all our secrets away. So we might do a private video to some of our supporters to let you know, and informally through informal channels, we'll explain to you the tactics. None of them are illegal. I don't support any violence or any illegal activity. Don't want to get anybody in trouble. Don't want to get anybody hurt. But they're going to hurt us if we don't act. So we're explaining social movement organizations, and this is a social movement. Power to you, the people. This is a movement, and it's on. Over 500,000 people have watched this video in a little over a month. So we're on it. We're getting a message out that's very clear and compelling, evidently to at least 500,000 people. And it'll go up, and we'll tell you how you can participate if you want to. We'll tell you about participants and all about social movements. We'll explain the definition. I'm Charles Van Morgan. I have a Doctor of Jurisprudence. I have a Master of Arts in Sociology with an emphasis in criminology, and I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, Human Resource Management, the emphasis, and I have a associate degree in Business Administration. So I know how to type 30 words a minute. I used to be able to, but I can't now. But all that aside, you know, there's educated idiots, and I'm not an educated idiot. I am not a young kid. I'm older. I've lived a long life. I'm gonna get across here so we don't get run over. I am older, so I've lived a life and I've seen some things with my own eyes, just like a lot of older people have. And you can take the education if you want to. You don't have to have a formal education. Throw it in the river. But I use my education with my life experience and see if it matches up. Sometimes the education does, sometimes it don't. But I've lived a life and I know a few things. I've had experience fighting the bear, and I've had experience fighting the lion, and like David, so I know what it's about, trained and ready to lead you all. So we're going to talk about social movements, take you to a location that exemplifies what we're about, and let you see if you want to be a part of this change for people. So let's see if we got anybody in here. Thank you all for joining. Stay tuned to the show. Great show for you today. Something I'm passionate about. Hopefully we'll get you passionate about it. If you're not, then you'll be a bystander, which is, you'll benefit from the movement anyway, because it's a worldwide movement, not just for me, worldwide. It can help Knoxville, it can help Tennessee, it can help Utah, it can help California, it can help North and South Carolina, from the east to the west, from the North Florida, from the South Florida to the North California. Yeah, I do know a little bit of geography. From Russia to China to Ukraine to, actually Russia ain't on here because YouTube's got them blocked because of the war, but it might get in there informally. And the UK, I got a lot of supporters in UK. Hello UK, thank y'all for joining in. So you can make positive change in your society, in your government, by rooting out corruption. We'll talk about that today. We're going to explicate that. We've looked into that. I've read the literature. I've lived the life. I know what might make a difference. There ain't no guarantees in anything, but we'll give it the old college try and a little more than that, because we're not going anywhere. We're here to stay. So hello, people in power in the government. We're not going anywhere, and you need to change or get the hell out of our government offices. So let's see if we got anybody in here. That's what the show's about today. So I got a lot to explain to you and tell you. So hang on. We'll show you how we can make a difference, and we can. We can make a difference. Differences have been made all across the world throughout multiple generations by social movements, have made things better for the whole society. So hang on for the ride, because it's a rough one. And hang on for the ride, and we'll tell you about social movements today and show you where we're going, to point out a little temporal continuity, and explain to you what that means by the location that we're at, because we're not going anywhere. Let's see how many people got in here. So thank you all very much. Let's see about how many books do you read per year? About one or two a week. You shout out to my pal Charlie. He's watching right now. Hello, Curtis. Stroking my. Okay. I always see you commenting that. Respect the movement, amen. Color revolutions are social monsters. Top of the, yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, very interesting. You're not going, you don't say. Really? Love from India. Hello, India. How many books? Oh, yeah. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, my. Yeah, let's see. Let me turn this around here so you can see me reading. Hi from Australia. Hello, Australia. All of them. Free Palestine from Islam. How about, yeah, free Palestine from Islam. That's right. Hey, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and God bless Israel. So, yeah, it's Islam that needs to be out of Palestine, not Israel. So, so are you living off the grid? No, I'm on the grid. I can't get off the grid. Maggots. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're going to quit now. You made me mad, right? No, it don't work that way. What is your location? Knoxville, Tennessee. Buy a hat. Okay, I might do that. Oh, Trump. Hey, I'll go with that. I voted for him. I voted for him 3 times. He ran a populist movement. Charlie, how is your life after losing your pension for watching a kid die in a fire? Okay, I didn't lose my pension. And I didn't watch a kid die in a fire. I was trying to save his life with my life at risk. And video pictures can show that. So that's a lie according to video evidence. So keep spreading your lies. That's why I'm out here. How about America first? That's right, America first. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's part of the movement because they're trying to bring in other people. You funny guy by 2011. Okay. Skip Trump has no idea that you even exist. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he might. He will after I'm done. Okay, Charles Van Morgan Show. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming on board. We're going to talk about social movements. I got a few cards here cue cards, and to tell you about social movements. We're going to a location, so hang on. So, what is a social movement? First of all, let me turn this around. First of all, social movements. Yeah, let me turn the light on. Social movements don't exist in a vacuum. They're created by strain, by bad things going on to mass numbers of people in society. In Knoxville, bad things going on. In bad people winning elections, elections rigged for the powerful people in government. In the state of Tennessee, bad things going on. Memphis National Guard coming in because of the crime rate. The governor lying about everything. Promoting people to positions of power for political influence. Promoting dirty judges. The whole judicial system in Tennessee is a corrupt criminal syndicate. And we need to hold judges accountable. No violence, hold them accountable. Point out what they do wrong. The whole United States is in a state of turmoil. The government shut down. In America, the government shut down. Democrats and Republicans can't get along. So the food prices are skyrocketing. It's a bad situation in America today. And I don't think it's because of the president. I don't think, I mean, you could blame the president. I don't think so. A lot of his policies are good for America. America first. He's a populist president that's doing things for America. Now, Mr. Joe Biden did some things good. He did some things good. I didn't vote for him personally, but he did some things good. I did not like Joe Biden's policies, but I like Joe Biden. I don't think he was a evil man. I think some of his policies were pretty evil. But America is in turmoil because of the political parties. Republicans, otherwise known as Republicans, and even Trump don't like the Republicans. He ran down Bill Lee, called him a called him a rhino, Republican in name only. That's what they are. They're Republican in name only because they get elected based on running on a party ticket. You run as a Republican, get in the organization, lie to people, and you automatically get all the Republicans' votes. We've got to convince Republicans that it's not a real legitimate party that represents you. It keeps the elite in power. Trump knows that. The Democrats, wow, what a joke they are. Want little girls' restrooms be invaded by grown men and think that's okay to do that. Some of the far out ideals that they have that infuriate the public, that are just way off base, lack of no common sense, very disgusting. I mean, keep running on those issues. You're easy to beat, Democrats. And Republicans have some good policies, but they lie to you. They don't back them up. And they facilitate the separation between the rich and the poor. In other countries, you know your issues. I don't. You know your issues. You live on the ground. You see things. You're smart. You don't have to have a college education. And if you do have a college education, that's good. Some people learn stuff on their own. So the world is in a state of turmoil. It's in a state of crisis. There's wars going on. But we can make it better, and we can't make it better completely by going through institutional means. It's not going to work. It hasn't worked. We can't even run for election successfully based on telling the truth. We can't even work in the government based on saving lives, being in law enforcement, doing our jobs. People in government power want us to change it. So the world is in turmoil. And I don't know about other states. You can get together and be a part of this social movement organization, Power to You, the People, and organize. And I'm going to explain to you what a social movement is based on what I learned in college, in an advanced education in sociology, a Master of Arts in sociology, and also based on life experience, seeing what works and what don't, and looking at other movements. So a social movement is a group of people or organization of people. You know, it can be two, it can be more. Hopefully more, because two ain't going to be able to dig a very big ditch. But a bunch of us can make a difference. So the more the merrier. So that's what we're on here about. A group. We talked to over 500,000 people in the past month. The more the merrier. So the message is resonating. And we'll tell you a little more about the message. But we're not giving all our secrets out. You'll have to go through the informal social networks to find that out. Because the enemy's on here, watching us every day. I know. Hello. They're not going to beat us if we work hard. So it's a group of people that are organized around change or resisting change that's happening in the society. In our case, we are organized around holding the government accountable for their misdeeds, for their corruption, for their self-serving, for upholding the oligarchy, for the courts not being accessible to regular people, being accessible to foreigners instead of American citizens, for denial of law licenses to keep control of the court system, for dirty rogue judges, for a dirty rogue court system that only rules for the hierarchy, for government officials that get elected in office and use the government to serve themselves. You read the newspaper here in Knoxville, there's stories and stories going on about how government officials are stealing money from us taxpayers. It's It is suit crime. It is white collar crime. It is crimes of the rich and powerful. It is crimes that cause more social harm than a street thug causes. And it is crimes of people that have sworn to uphold the law and the Constitution that go on to defy that. It's a joke to them. You're a joke to them. We're all a joke to them. They don't care. They don't have to. They got the system set up to elect people, their people in power, and there's no way we can get in the door. When I run for elected office, although I am the most qualified on the ballot in any race that I've ever run, I have not even gotten close to winning. Not because I shouldn't, but because the system is rigged. Elections are rigged for the powerful. They won't let us get our voices out. They portray me as a convicted criminal, although I've never been arrested. So a social movement is organization, and we are for change in the system to make it accessible to all the people, populace, all the population of people, not just the rich and powerful, to lower the separation between the rich and the poor. It's astonishing, the separation between the rich and the poor. There's only a small group of people that have all the money and all the power, and the rest of the populace are lied to, given breadcrumbs to keep us in line. And we are going to lower that separation to make the economy work for everyone. So let's see how many people we got on here. So those are two elements: group of people, change-oriented goals. And we'll go on with the definition, what we're trying to do and what we can accomplish if we get together and work about it, which we didn't just start yesterday. So let's see how many people got on here. And welcome. Come on in. We'll finish social movements. Talk about how you can make a difference for change in society from the textbooks and life experience. Thank you for joining. If you like the show so far, subscribe and share and contribute if you can. Thank you for showing up. So let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. Let's turn this around. So politicians, get involved. Watch where you're going, old man. Okay, I thought you were Michael. Yeah, people making fun. Skip what happened in Vietnam. Former Marine Captain. Hello, former Marine Captain. You know a few of the tactics. Yeah, Marines are it's easy to be a Marine, right? Yeah, yeah. They won't even let that bother them. They're made tough. They're some of the toughest people in the world. What's up, bro? Thank you. Strong leadership, Trump. Okay. So, thank y'all for joining. Let's talk about social movements. So they are, and we're going to a location. We're going to explain to you where we conducted some social movement activity. So we're on the move early in the morning. Thank y'all for joining me. So a social movement is set up, and we'll give you the elements here. Is set up. Just want to show you, we have reached over 525,000 people. So the social movement is active and going on. So we're not just blowing smoke. We have reached a lot of people, and we're going to reach a lot more. So a social movement is collective action, joint, change-oriented goals, seek social, political, or cultural hierarchy, some degree of organization, enduring temporal community. The movement lasts over time, not just a one-time protest. Our daily YouTube channel unbridled truth, two arenas: institutional and non-institutional goals. So there are several participants in social movement. But the first thing we want to talk about in a social movement, raison d'etre is a raison d'etre. Raison d'etre is it's a French term. Sure we don't get run over, boys. Raison d'etre is a French term, and it means reason for being. And that's a social movement's reason for being is important, because if you don't have a reason for being, then you're not going to make any movement toward that reason. So the reason for being is the bad stuff that's going on in society. And here in Knoxville, Tennessee, it's very clear. And I can show you right now. We're on a bridge that's the only one open in downtown Knoxville because of the government has closed down the roads. They've been open. Gay Street Bridge has been open since 1989. Right over there, 1989. Now it's closed. So for over 100 years, they had the money to keep that bridge open. So things gotten worse. That dirty courthouse over there. The UT area. With Mr. Haslam's name, the richest man in Knoxville, the richest man probably in the state of Tennessee. His name is on that building over there. So that's idolized as rich, rich, rich. But how did he get rich? Did he get rich stepping on you? So the raison d'etre, the French term, the reason why we're here is because of the mass corruption in the government, the bought elections, and because our court systems, our normal means of channel to get grievances corrected, don't work. A little wind brought that. Our normal means of getting access to adjudicate our disputes in a fair manner for the mass populace is broke. It don't work for us. It works for them. They decide against us every time. Power to you, the people. The raison d'etre, to expose corruption by people in power and in our government, to shine light where they hide, so the truth can set people free. That's our reason for being. And how bad do things have to be before we start to act? They're pretty damn bad right now, aren't they? And you look across your country and focus for a minute. Don't dwell on it, but focus for a minute on the issues that are horrific in society, in your country, in your nation, in the city of Knoxville, in the state of Tennessee. Focus on the issues and the problems. Think about how hard it is for you to be able to afford to live. And look in the affluent areas where these people have 2 and 3 houses. Their kids don't work because they support their kids. And how hard it is, and you're working to support their kids because you're paying your taxes to pay for them. That's a separation between the rich and the poor. This is about the disparity between the rich and the poor. How can we adjust that? How can we fight that? We can't go to court. Their courts are their protectors. They're protecting the rich. They're rich bought courts. Judges in Tennessee are up for the highest bidder. They put that on my denial to give me my law license. Because I said that judges are up for the highest bidder. And you say, well, that's the reason why they denied your law license. No, that's not the reason. That's not the reason, because we're logical. We're not stupid. They think we're stupid. I didn't say that the first time they denied me, and they denied me. So after they denied me for no reason, while one of them is committing a crime, I said that because that's the truth. They're up for the highest bidder. I tried to play their game. I tried to play by their rules, and their rules don't work for us. And even if they do work for us, they change them in the middle of the game so they can win every damn time. So we can't honor a system. We can't abide by the rules of a system that we never win, even when we're right. And that's the kind of system they got stacked up in the state of Tennessee by the alleged Christian governor. Of course he's Christian. That gives you accountability and credibility that you tell the truth. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. It's closed down hospitals. So their system doesn't work. And they told me, because I said, judges up for the highest bidder, that they won't give them all license. So they're trying to tell me, don't say that, don't say that. That's what they're trying to tell me, don't say that. So let me just tell you what we do as far as the social movement goes. Now that doesn't make any difference. If I don't say that, they're still not going to give me my law license. They just don't want me to say that and still want to deny me. They want to keep their boot on your head, and they'll lie to you. If you go along with our program, we'll take our foot off your boot. And Tennesseans, Americans, all across the world, if that's what they tell you. If you'll go along with our program, we'll let you up. And then you go along with the program, and they still won't let you up. So their system's not going to work. At what point are you going to stop believing their dirty lies? Has it gotten any better, or is it getting worse? They're not going to get any better. The only way you're going to be able to make things better is to peacefully fight them. Don't go along with the program. People, why do they try to get as close to you as they can? Let me get over a little further. So the only way we can make a change is to stop believing their lies. So they told me not to say that judges are up for the highest bidder, and then they'll give me my law license, and I'm supposed to believe that. Let me tell you what. Let me say this loud and clear to the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. The criminals, and it's not defamation because it's true, one of them pled guilty to an infamous crime. Let me say this very clear out loud. Worldwide, to over 500,000 people. In Tennessee, most of the judges in the judicial system as an organization is up for the highest bidder. I said it again loud and clear. Did they stop me? No, they didn't stop me. That's the truth. Tennessee judiciary, you're up for the highest bidder, you bunch of creeps. You're dirty, you're thugs. You cause people to get killed. I'm not going to go along with your program. You don't tell the truth, you're liars. You don't go along with your program. You have a program and we go by it, and then when we win, you change the damn rules, and we're not following that rule anymore. So I'm just telling you, if you want that kind of life to work for the elite, then go right ahead. I don't, and I hope a lot of people don't want to do that either. And I'm not talking about violence, no form of violence. I'm talking about facing the truth. America, the populace, Tennessee, the populace, the government doesn't work for you. It lies to you and keeps them in power. That's the truth. Judges are dirty in Tennessee. They make false rulings. I pointed them out on my videos. They rule for people in power every damn time and against you. Take your money in their crooked forfeiture, seizure hearings. Take your property, lie to you, say they're going to make a road to take your front yard, and then later on change it into a bicycle trail. Close down bridges, claiming they ain't got the money. Trying to increase our taxes so we can't eat, and we almost can't eat now. The price of food's so high. So judges in Tennessee are dirty as hell. I haven't changed what I said. I'll keep saying it louder. When you find out the weakness of your opponent, and they say, don't hit me there, it hurts. That's what they're saying, don't hit me there. They're saying, don't hit me there, it hurts. Keep pounding away. Judges are dirty in Tennessee. You're crooked as hell. They have private meetings. where they won't let journalists come and listen to the meeting. They want their private little secret conversations to say stuff that ought to be in open. And reporters can't even come to their meetings, and their hearings ought to be open to the public. So that is the problem and the strain that we're facing and the issue that we're fighting. Oh shoot, man! All these people. So one of the Board of Law Examiners, and they're denying law license to control the judiciary. I would have been a lawyer for the people in Tennessee. I would have been able to go in and defend you in a court of law. Defend your rights against the government. Use the Constitution. If they arrest you for speaking out, I would have been able to go to court, federal court. They even control the federal courts, which is not right. That's not their courts. Tennessee judiciary, Tennessee Board of Law Examiners control the federal courts. You don't even have access to an appropriate attorney in federal courts because the federal courts have allowed Tennessee Board of Law Examiners to control the federal courts, which are supposed to be supreme above Tennessee courts. But is it supreme when the judiciary in this state allows the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners to decide what lawyers come before it? That's not supreme. That's bowing under the Tennessee. Because in Tennessee, you have to be licensed by the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners in order to practice law in a federal court. You can't practice law in federal court unless you're licensed through the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. So you don't even have a right to an appropriate attorney in federal court. So you don't even have federal rights in Tennessee. You don't have federal constitutional rights like you should have. Not like you should have because of dirty judiciary. And the dirty judiciary, Board of Law Examiners in Tennessee, one of them was the first time, and I didn't run down judges then. I knew they were dirty, but you keep your mouth shut because they'll deny you law license. So I kept my mouth shut, hoping that they would follow their own damn rules. And they didn't. They didn't. They blackballed me. They've got pedophiles that are attorneys in Tennessee. That have admitted, pled guilty to offenses involving sexual offenses, involving taking pictures of girls underage, sexual offenses. Pled guilty to them. In Tennessee, got licensed attorneys, but they won't let me have a license, and I've never been convicted of any crime. Why is that? It's because they're part of the program, part of people that are willing to stand up and fight for the judiciary above all cost, above your rights. And that's a fact. And one of the people on the board that denied me my law license, this is how they're controlling access to justice. In Tennessee, dirty, crooked judges. One of the people on the board that denied me my law license, while they were questioning me, I wasn't allowed to question them. While they were questioning me, while they ordered me to come to a show cause hearing, a crook decided that I wasn't candid. And this is literal. I mean, it'd be funny if it didn't put you in jail and take your rights, take your cars and your property, but it's not funny at all. They've declared war on us, and all we're doing is fighting back. So one of the judges that was committing a crime pled guilty to a crime. They didn't charge her in Tennessee. The federal government charged her. It got so bad. She was a prosecutor in Memphis, Barbara Zulica. She decided that I need to come to a show cause hearing when I've never been convicted of any crime, while she was committing a felony at the time, that she decided that I'm not honest. So a person that wasn't honest decided that I'm not honest. And that's a fact. You can look it up. That's not conjure or making up stuff. That's the fact. A person that was deciding, the same people that decide somebody that takes pictures of girls underage should be a lawyer that's a lawyer now, decided that I shouldn't be a lawyer. So it's not just a messed up system, it's a well-designed system in their favor. Some people say the system's broken. It's not broken for them, it works well. It's a well-oiled machine. It's broken for us, but it keeps them in power illegitimately. So one of them was a convicted criminal. One of them, now, like I said, they keep their They have 2 and 3 houses off of your taxes. They're getting paid tax money. They're judges and government officials. They live off taxes, our tax money, and they get so much tax money that it is sickening, more than what they need to live. And so they take care of themselves, have 2 and 3 houses, and they take care of their kids. Their kids don't have to work. Your kids have to work. Your kids have to make a living. You worry about your family and your kids, don't you? Have to get out and face the world and work. Some of them hard jobs, and because you can't support your kids, you can't hardly take care of yourself. You all help each other, which is great. You should, and help this movement organization. But they're so filthy rich off your tax money while you're out working hard. Your kids are out working hard. The Tennessee Judiciary is taking their money. The Tennessee Board of Law Examiners is taking their money. They have more money than they need. They get more of the money from you that take care of themselves. They take care of their families. Their families don't even work. So they're taking care of a whole group of their family and friends and everybody off your tax money while you're out working. That's just the truth. You gonna put up with that? I wouldn't. I'm not. That's why I'm out. Power to you, the people. Let's stop this corruption and put them in jail. Put some of the judges in jail. They need to be arrested right off the bench. We need to have a special prosecutors unit walk up to some of these people and say, you're under arrest. Stand up and lift the robe up and put handcuffs on them behind their backs. What needs to happen to some of these rogue judges sitting there on the bench rulings, putting lies out in these court rulings. Isn't that? I mean, that's just catastrophic for people. They put you in jail, take your freedoms away from you, illegitimately by lying on you. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with my own 2 eyes. And if you complain about it, go through their system, they use that against you. I complained on a judge for putting somebody in jail illegitimately. And they used that against me. They said he complained on a judge. So it wasn't the fact that what I complained about was the truth. It was the fact that I even complained. So you can't even complain on a judge for doing wrong, because that is a wrong in their eyes. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what level of corruption and deceit and dirty lies we're dealing with. If you want to live in that kind of world and you think it's okay, then wait till they drag you off the street for no reason. And they can. Somebody can make up false charges they don't even have to pay for, drag you into court, and a judge will find you guilty because he gets $6 a head. So we need to change that, and we can. We can. Power to you, the people. So one of the board members that even wasn't even there in my case. He gets paid and wasn't even sitting on the board. So they don't even work half the time. They just turn you down from a cell phone while they're on the beach drinking wine probably in a foreign country. Some of them, they're not even in America, but run America, I think. So one of them, and this is what I'm talking about, they feed their family with your tax money. One of them, I drive a taxi, and I picked up one of the board members' sons while I was here in Knoxville. The contracts professor, one of the worst professors there, Harbison, I'm talking about you, but this is the truth, so it ain't defamation, you rich piece of dirt, you thug. So yeah, I'm just telling you. So I was going before their board, trying to get my law license, playing by their rules. So Harbison, when we were in the contracts class, said he had to support his son. His son was in his 20s, and he said, "Will I ever have to stop supporting my son?" So he supports his son. How does he support his son? Well, because he works at National School Law. He gets paid my money to go to school, so he got paid to educate me. But when it comes to giving me license, being able to compete with him, he won't do that though. No, he won't do that. But my money paid him to teach me the law. That won't help me make a living. It helps him make a living. Helps him support his son, because that's what he said in class. He said, "Well, I ever have to stop supporting my son, who's in his 20s?" So these rich people support their children with our money. He supported his son with my tuition money. I had federal student loans. I'm just telling you how it doesn't work for us. It works well for them. They're happy with it. They love this system, the system of legalized corruption for them. And if YouTube bans me for telling you the truth, I hope they don't do that. But catch me on Rumble or Telegram. I'll get this message out one way or t'other, as they say. So listen, man, people got on here. We'll continue telling you how, an example of how they support themselves, 2 or 3 houses, some of them, and they support their kids where the kids don't even have to work with our money. Wouldn't that be nice if you got to do that? How about we get our own money back from these thieves so that they quit stealing and taking care of people that don't even work, while we have to work extra hard to take care of these rich people? Power to you, the people. So many people we got in here. And we'll keep talking about this, and I'll explain to you how I know for a fact they not only support themselves with our money, educate us, we pay them for that, and then deny a law license, but how they support their children where they don't have to work, and what their children do, which is pretty astounding, how they live their life illicitly, in my opinion, and we pay for that. Let's keep doing that. It's all right. Bury our head in the sand, act like it don't exist. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. They won't let me represent you in a courtroom because it's rigged. A person that takes pictures of little children above 18 can practice law because he's for the system, but I'm not. So he might be able to represent you, but they won't let me. But I'll represent you out here on the street with a cell phone, speaking to 500,000 people over and more. We'll tell you the truth. It's not pretty, but it's true. So many people got in here, and I'll tell you how they support their families. I know, I've seen it firsthand. With your damn money. And they even take your kids' money. So let's see how many people got in here. So yeah, we got quite a few. Thank y'all for joining me. Let's look at the just stop giving your money away. Said how they tax you. They didn't. They did it to me on false statements. That's right. That's right. They're crooked and dirty. Like, share, comment. If you like the video, if you want to be a part of the social movement, subscribe. If you want to help, subscribe. That's helping. And listen to what I got to say. And judge for yourself. I'm representing you. It's not about me, it's about you. So let's talk about how they, and we're almost to the location where I can tell you about what we did as far as the social movement. So hang on with me just a few minutes, and we'll explain to you about what this social movement already did about 4 years ago. So we got some temporal continuity, and we're continuing this movement, and we're not going anywhere. And tell you what we did several years ago at a specific location down here. Stood up for our rights, and show you some other things we've been doing. So we're on it. We're on it, and we're not going away. We're throwing the rock, so to speak, trying to put the giant down, hit him in the head, so to speak, symbolically, not realistically. We're not going to do anything violent or dangerous. We're using speech, stories, and we're using truth to dismantle their illusion of legitimacy, because it's crooked as hell, keeps them in power. They know exactly what they're doing. They know they're turning me down for my law license and telling you exactly why. Because I want to uphold the corrupt judiciary. And even in telling me that, they said, hey, you ran down a judge. They didn't go into depth about why I ran him down and see if it was the truth and that's something they needed to deal with to help the populace, to help you. They just said you ran down a judge, and that's why we're not denying you your law. That's why we're denying your law license. And even went on to say that the attorney that represents you didn't run down the judge. Well, yeah, of course. If he does, he'll lose his law license. So your system's working well. A licensed attorney did not run down the judge, even though he told me exactly what I saw is what he saw, and even added to it. He was closer to the issue than I was. Even told me a little more than what I didn't know about the problem, about what the judge was doing. But when they called him and asked him if he had a problem with the judge, they lied on their ruling. He said he didn't have a problem with the judge. That's not what he said. That's not what he said, because he told me what he said was, I didn't make the complaint. Now that's different. That's different than saying I didn't have a problem with the judge. He's not saying he didn't have a problem with the judge. He didn't say that. He said he didn't make the complaint. Of course he didn't make the complaint. You want to lose your law license and your livelihood, you're already in. and you've already agreed not to run down judges that lie. You've already agreed to uphold the crooked system, and you can't blame every one of them. They gotta make a living. Look what they do to you if you don't uphold the crooked system. They try to execute you by destroying your character. But he said he didn't have a problem. He didn't make the complaint. Of course he's not going to make a complaint. So they lied in the ruling. So what they're pointing out is, attorney, good, you upheld our corrupt system. You didn't make a complaint against the judge, even if you're right. And we're not even looking into your complaint because that's what you did wrong. You made a complaint, even though it was legitimate. Don't complain against people in power. We won't tolerate that. Well, let me tell you what, World Wide Web, people in the state of Tennessee in power, Judge McMillan, the Board of Law Examiners are dirty as hell. The system that they have set up will drag you into court for no reason and take your money. They get $6 a head. So Mr. Harbison said in class, he admitted that he is, we got one of these noise makers here coming this way. So yeah, we'll get out of the way here. So when we're out in public, we have issues that we can't do nothing about. But we're on our way to a specific location. Got maybe 5 minutes and we'll be there, so hang on. So anyway, Harbison admitted to the fact that, and hopefully you can hear me, got this noise maker here. So Harbison admitted, I'll try to get by this, we'll run real fast, to noise. So Harbison admitted in class, a professor at the University of Tennessee, a professor at the law school I went to, National School of Law, on the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners at the time, admitted in class, turn that damn noise maker off, admitted in class, well there's another one, admitted in class that he supported his son. So he's getting rich off tuition, off being a licensed attorney, tuition, and he's on the Board of Law Examiners getting rich off tax money. They get thousands and thousands of dollars from students, from their student loan money to pay for the Board of Law Examiners admission process. So they get money from students, from student loan money from California. Harbison's getting money from California. He's stealing California's money. Are you mad at Mr. Harbison, who's able to get so much money that he's able to take care of his son? Can you take care of your son with other people's money? Boy, that'd be a nice ride, wouldn't it? Sure, you'd want to uphold that system. Or maybe you wouldn't. We're honest. We wouldn't even do that. We wouldn't do what they're doing. They're so crooked. People wouldn't even do what they're doing. It's unbelievable, the crooked that they are. Most people wouldn't do that. Most people ain't even that crooked. I wouldn't ask other people to pay for my son, to give me money to pay for my son. I asked my son to go get a job. My sons, and they work hard jobs, and pay Mr. Harbison tax money, because he's on the Board of Law Examiners, to support his son. And I'll tell you what his son does, which is very important, what his son does. Here's what his son does. He's got a lot of free time because he don't have to have a damn job. Got his law license, doesn't even practice law because who his daddy is. I'm more honest than both of them put together. His class is a horrible class, one of the worst professors there. Teaches contracts at National School of Law. Is on the Board of Law Examiners so he gets money from National School of Law, which I had student loans, so it's student loan money from California, from Texas, from New York, from Florida, from North and South Carolina, and every state in between. You ought to be mad at Mr. Harbison. He's got money enough your tax money to take care of his kids, don't have to work. So your kids might have to get a second job to take care of him. Let me tell you what his son does. What his son does with your money. Here's what he does. So I drive a taxi. You know, one of the most lowest jobs on the totem pole, even though I got a doctor of jurisprudence, a master of arts in sociology, even though I was the most effective trooper in the state, Not arguably, I lowered the fatality rate. I can show you a design of an arrow of the fatality rate when I was on the road. Went down, and then when they wrongfully got rid of me, more people got killed, went straight up. And I made 150 drunk driving arrests a year. They make, average trooper makes 2. So 2 to 150, what's the difference in saving people's lives? Dramatically. So we're here at the location. I'll finish telling you what Harbison's son does off of your money here in just a second. So this is, so hang in with me, I'll tell you, this is Howard Baker Center for Public Policy. This is where they come and do a bunch of their dirty deeds right here. This is where they're dirty as hell right here, Howard Baker Center of their policies that they force on you. So I'll make sure I don't get on the property because they will try to put me in jail. Howard Baker Center. So we did a little thing here. The Howard Baker Center of Public Policy here on the University of Tennessee campus. And this is where I was bringing y'all. And then we'll tell you, we'll explain to you what Harbison's son does. So we create a little truthful alarm. We'll tell them the truth. It's alarming. It's very shocking. You won't hear this on the news. You won't hear this anywhere else except for unbridled news. The news media won't hang out one of these public officials. Hell no. They're afraid of them. They do them favors. They let them out of their drunk driving charges, and they benefit them. We'll wait till this truck goes by so we can hear, so you can hear me. Noisemakers. I guess that's part of the risk of being out in the public. So find us a place to have a seat here, and we'll tell you about the alarming thing we did here at this the little social movement activity that we did here at this Baker Center about 4 years ago. So we've been on this thing, and it worked like magic. They didn't even mention this in their show cause hearing, so they must not have heard of it, but we'll keep doing it. So and then we'll tell you about Harbison's son, what he's doing with your money, because he's been supported by his daddy, who said, well, I always have to support my son. And then later on I seen something his son was doing with his daddy's money because he don't have a job. So right here, we'll tell you about that if you'll hang on. So right here at the Howard Baker Center for Public Policy, I got an email. And if you heard this before, I'm going over it again. But this is where it happened at. The crooks here. So they set up policy for the state government and tell you this is good policy. Have their rigged university professors that know more than you do. So I have a sociology degree, and some of these sociology professors were downright dirty as hell. If you don't agree with the political positions that they have, they try to fail you out of school. But they still have a base of knowledge that's from other institutions. So you have to be smart in getting an education. You have to pay attention to what they're trying to tell you. So I had one social movement organization professors that tried to fail me out because I didn't agree with some of her social movements. And I'm not going to. And but I passed anyway. She gave me the lowest grade I had was a C in social movement. So this is Howard Baker Center Public Policy. I had an email because I was signed up on the state's email list for an email from the state court system, and they sent me court cases so I could keep up on current court cases, and trying to be a lawyer, trying to play by their rules. And one of them, they also had events taking place in the court system, and I got a letter, an email from the court system after they turned me down for my law license for no legitimate reason at all. I had a convicted felon telling me I was dishonest, run me down to nothing, untrue stuff. Had people that were friends and family, and Mr. Harbison was on the board of law examiners at that time. But the email said that one of the members of the board was going to be down here to apply for a judicial position. And that said public comment, welcome, Mr. Ward. You got to be in a ward. And admitted that he kept us waiting all day. I waited out there all day to have my hearing. I got there in the morning. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. Didn't have the hearing till way late in the afternoon. And they already knew what they were going to do. I guess they were hoping I'd leave. And didn't listen to a damn word I said. I know they didn't, because everything I said, they put it on their opinion that was a lie as being not true. So if you try to defend yourself and think they're going to listen to you, they just use that against you and say what you said wasn't true. So you're just wasting your time going through their administrative procedures. But Mr. Ward was applying for a judgeship just like I was. He was on the board with me applying for my law license. So part of my activism, I'm not putting up with them turning me down for no good reason. While there's a convicted felon on the board and I've not committed any crime, they deny me my law license. Well, they're getting federal student loan money. So he was on the letter that they were interviewing candidates for a judicial position. His name was on there. It said, public comment, welcome, Mr. Ward. So I decided to come down here and make my public comment known. So I came down here, and Mr. Ward was here. He seen me. He didn't recognize who I was. He smiled real big. Yeah, I smiled back. I'm here to talk about what you did to me wrong, you dirty thug. And they called his name, and I stood up, and I'm here to make a public comment about Mr. Ward. And they said, oh, the time for public comment is over. Of course it is. They won't let you comment. They won't let you speak out. I was going to let them know what they did to me, denying me my law license illegitimately because I was on the road trying to protect people, and then said it had nothing to do with that when they sent me a letter that they were reviewing the video of the pursuit. Wow, what? I mean, they can't even cover their own lies. They lie so much. Wouldn't even let me speak here, and I told them, of course it is. And I of course, left peacefully. But that's the type of thing we need to do in the social movement, to stand up at their meetings and complain. Say, this is not right. Now, let me tell you what Mr. Harbison did. And this is where I did that at right here. At this Center of Public Policy where they got things rigged. And I'll tell you about Mr. Harbison. Let me read some about what his son does off your money. I'm just telling you. Is this what you want done with your money? How you doing, Mr. Harbison? Yeah, sue me. I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I'm pretty super. And besides that, what I'm telling is the truth. Defamation is unprivileged false communication disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower somebody in the standing of the community. Defamation is not truthful information about somebody that lowers them in the standing of the community. It is false. This is true. Seen it with my own eyes. I know it's true. Of course, in their dirty courtrooms, you're liable to get a judge that says that what is true is not, to protect the establishment, because that's what judges are for, to protect the establishment and trample all over you and soldiers' blood that fought for the Constitution. I'm just saying, we'll cover social movements, and I'll tell you what Harbison's son is doing with your money. Here in just a second, let me read some of the comments. Thank y'all for joining me. Subscribe, like, share, and contribute if you can. Let's get this social movement cranked up. We're not going away. We did this about 4 years ago. We're still doing this. We've run for public office several times, and we might do it again, trying to get attention to the movement, get a platform for you to stand on the platform and do what you want done. So thank y'all for joining me. Let's see what we got in here. So yeah, we got almost 100 people. Let's get 100 people in here. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's see what this says. And 2012 Charles here indicated a chase that ended in a fire crash. Charles called off the chase, drove past the crash, and watched the 20-year-old driver burn to death. That's what a dirty court system said. That's not true. That's a lie. So keep posting that on there, running up my views. That's fine. And they said that I'm not honest to be an attorney, while they have people that take pictures of underage children's attorneys, and the people in government power that write these illegitimate court rulings are telling the truth, right? So if you believe the government, then believe those lies. But that's absolutely not true. You can look at the video and see me inches from a fire trying to save somebody's life. So, and whoever's writing that is hiding behind a camera. That's a complete, total lying thug. And thank you for running up my views. So it doesn't matter to me. So here's what Mr. Harbison, he's like Mr. Harbison. It might be Mr. Harbison's son. It might be Mr. Harbison on there. I don't know. they get their propaganda out, but don't let them stop us. You know, ignore that baloney. That's not true. It's not true at all. You look at the video, it's not true. I'm standing there trying to save somebody's life. I'm proud of how I acted that night. I deserve a medal for that. Now, the way they framed it is a dirty lie, but, you know, they frame things however they want to. They call good evil and evil good. So here's Mr. Harbison. Here's what he did. And then we'll cover social movements. Read my notes here. So Mr. Harbison said in class that he supported his son. Well, I ever have to start supporting my son? The whole class heard that. So he's supporting his son. So I'm paying him money to go to class. Worst teacher there, teaching contracts. And paying him money that he's using to support his children, hoping that I'll get my law license, thinking that they'll be honest, and I will. Never been convicted of any crime. I wasn't convicted of any crime. If I did what that guy's saying, would I have been convicted of a crime? Yeah. You know why I wasn't? Because a civil judge said that by himself, one of their judges. A jury of my peers would not have convicted me of any damn thing. So that's the difference between civil and criminal. You get in the civil cases and they'll decide against you every time. If you have a criminal case, don't work out a deal, go all the way to a trial. I got a JD and passed the bar exam, but Mr. Harbison, supporting his son, from the law school, my dues there, my tuition there, and my federal student loan money, and then he's on the board of law examiners who gets federal student loan money from my student loan, and other people have student loans, and they've had to pay them. They get thousands and thousands of dollars that pay him, and then he gives the money to his son that he supports and denies law license, where you went all the way through school, you paid him all this money through the law school, through the board of law examiners that you have to go through, and then he says, no, you can't compete with me, you can't pay that money back, it's student loan money, you'll have to pay it back, you can't pay it back being a lawyer. And then he gives the money to his son. Now, I was a taxi driver, and I picked up his son because I can't get a job as a lawyer because these dirty thugs won't let me. So I picked up his son, and of course, perfectly legal, but I'm just telling you. I took his son, picked up his son at the Hilton because he told me who his daddy was. I told him where I went to law school. Oh, my dad, Mr. Harbison, teaches there. And I took his son to what was a strip club, to Alcoa Highway, over here off Alcoa Highway. It was Daisy Dukes then. I think they've changed the name now because they had shootings there. They had somebody killed there. They had somebody killed there. Listen to this, man, loud music. Yeah, turn the music down, dude. So, can't wait till the light turns green and I can continue my show. So, yeah, listen to it. So anyway, I took his son to a strip joint that was closed down, reopened under another name, and it's a strip joint where they had prostitution going on. They've had murders there. So I took his son, and he's using his dad's money. He doesn't have a job. Told me he didn't have a job, and his dad said in class that he's supporting. So my money is going to support his son that doesn't have a job to go to strip joints. And I'm not saying he was servicing a prostitute, but he's paying people that dance there that act as prostitutes. And that's what you want to do, but don't do it with my money. Well, I pay you to educate me and then sit on the board of law examiners and refuse to give me law license, and then give your son my money so that he can go to strip joints. And that's what his son done. I'm telling you, that's the truth. He can sue me for defamation. Saw it with my own eyes. Picked his son up from the Crown, a real expensive hotel down here, the Crown Royal, or the right across from it's the TVA tower now, Crown Plaza, and took him to a strip joint. And his son doesn't have a job. Harbison pays for his son, if you see what I'm saying. So our tax money is going to them. They have 2 and 3 houses, some of them. They're supporting their children that don't have a job that go to strip joints on our dime. I mean, that's just true. And then they're coming here to the Howard Baker Center, getting public policy that keeps them in power. So that's what kind of system you got. Is that what kind of system you want? And you know, I don't. That's why we're starting this social movement. Let's look at what a social movement is. I got some notes here. Thank y'all for coming on board. Let that kid cook, called the lawyer, didn't put the fire out, don't do anything. That's not true. Keep on, Bobby Melton. That's not true. See, they're trying to. That's good. They're trying to discredit me. Go ahead and let them. That's why I'm doing this, because they have lied. They have lied about me. Where so much I led the state in saving lives. That's not true. And they've lied about me. That's a form of execution. They're trying to execute me wrongfully. Part of the 4%, trying to destroy my life, but they're not getting it done because I'm out here telling the truth, and I'll continue telling the truth. So let's see here. Let's see here about social movement organizations. There's differences in social movement organizations: amount of change sought, degree, reform, revolution, movements. Niels Smelser approach theory of collective behavior, norm-oriented, and there's norm-oriented and value-oriented. Norm-oriented is limited but specific change, like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That's really part of the government. More fundamental movements, and that's what we're about, value-oriented change, like the civil rights movement is the type change that we're interested in. Movements are a collective acting outside of institutional channels, a group of interrelated persons engaged in joint action rather than an aggregate of persons acting in a parallel but disconnected fashion. Social trends are not social movements. And mass migrations of individuals, example, gold rush, migration of citizens, large numbers from one country to another, or one region to another within the same country. They share the same characteristics of social movements, but they're not social movements because the most essential characteristic of a social movement is pursuit of change. And that's our thing, pursuit of change. We want to stop these billionaires and these rich people in government power from stealing our money and feeding their kids. Let their kids go to work. They want to go to strip joints, that's fine. Don't do it on our dime. So pursuit of resistance of social change is what we're after. Social movements are not pockets of public opinion or sentiment pools. So you can have public opinion, sets of change-oriented opinion beliefs do not constitute action. No doubt a necessary condition. So if you have a public opinion that is conducive to this movement, that you don't trust the government, then that's a conducive condition. But that's not a social movement. So that alone is not enough. So the distinction is that they stand a different position in relation to the mainstream political environment. They are regarded as legitimate social movements outside politically, different strategies, behaviors. Non-institutional tactics, action in individual interest rather than collective action. Interest groups are not social movements. Example are the National Rifle Association, American Medical Association, pro-choice and pro-life movements. Interestingly, book frames it as anti-abortion instead of pro-life. So just telling you that some of these books are pro certain movements and pro not movements, even the books. So you can't just listen to the books all the time. You have to know by experience. So they tell you how you frame stuff matters. So they're framing pro-life as anti-abortion. Imagine that. Imagine that. But all people are welcome in this movement. But I'm just saying, be careful how you frame things. So we'll continue talking about social movements. Thank y'all for joining. Charles, will you tell that body camera footage is a lie too? Oh, well, no, the body camera is the truth. It shows me trying to put a fire out, standing beside inches from a car that's about to blow up, and not standing behind a screen like you are, spitting out dirty lies. That's what that video shows. Watch the video. That's good. Watch me try to save somebody's life. Absolutely. Watch the framing that idiot's trying to point out. So, a social movement has some temporal continuity, not unconventional crowds or gatherings. Social movements are rarely, if ever, fly-by-night phenomenon. We're not a fly-by-night phenomenon. We went here 4 years ago. We're here for the duration. Next year about this time, we'll be here. We're at another location with the same social movement. We're not here today, gone tomorrow. Some degree of development and continuity. We've developed. We got over 500,000 people listening. And we're going to be here. The kinds of changes movements pursue typically require sustained, organized activity. Of course, both a matter of degree, but essential. So that's what we need in this movement. Power to you, the people. Sustain. We've been here about 6 years, organized, and this part of the organization. Explain to you what a social movement is. Activity. We engage in activity here. We ask you all to engage in activity to point out corruption in the government and the disparity between the rich and the poor, because they're rich off your money, going to strip joints, feeding their kids. I'm just saying, that's the truth. I've seen it with my own eyes. That's just one isolated incident I've seen. How many instances have y'all seen of the government trying to use your money, throw you in jail wrongfully? Or if they haven't, trust me, they will. They certainly will. They have that power illegitimately over you. Categories of actors relevant to social movements. So this is the people that are involved in social movements on both sides. Protagonist, that's us. Antagonist and bystanders. So protagonist is all groups and collectives supportive of the our movement. So we need protagonists. That's all groups and collectives. So we need to invite everybody in. Even people in government want us to be here. Everybody that's supportive of reducing this disparity between the rich and the poor, but reducing this disparity between our children having to work, supporting their children to go to strip joints, or whatever example that you can point out. Reducing the disparity between the former governor, Bill Haslam, has his name on this building. This university represents the rich. Let's take his name off the building and represent you. Power to you, the people on this building. Your name on this building, not his. He doesn't own this state building. You do. Your taxes pay for it. Why is his name on it? Represents the disparity. Hey, we're up here. We're up here. You're out here on the sidewalk. But we're going to make our way up on the building where his name is at and take his sign down and put ours on there. So all groups, protagonists, that's what we are in this group. According to the book definition, call us protagonists. And under the protagonists, we have movements of adherents, consistency, and beneficiaries. Those are all three groups. Under protagonists, we have adherents, consistency, and beneficiaries. So adherents are individuals who engage in movements, conduct in pursuit of its objectives, or one or more, protest, rallies, sit-in, formal organization meetings, or other stuff that we're not going to tell them. None of it illegal what we're doing on live broadcasts throughout the world, but adherents are people that are actively engaged, participate in at least one or more. So we need adherents. So be an adherent to this movement. Engage with this movement. Listen to what I'm saying. And like, share, comment, and contribute if you can. If you can't, that's fine. I'm going to put a book out. If you want to buy a book, that will help facilitate the movement to reduce the disparity between the rich and the poor, to get rid of this government corruption, to take their names off the buildings that represent the power and put people, the populace, above the rich and powerful that have got our money illegitimately by making laws that are conducive to them. and blocking us from access to the system. So that's the adherents. And there's some more involved. Some just pay dues or attend occasional meetings or activity. Activists are from adherents, distinguished by the level of support and sacrifice they give to the cause. So be an activist. Give as much support as you can, or even a little will help the movement. So that is part of activists and adherents. So yeah, we still got quite a few. Let's see, it would be convenient to blame our bad choices on someone else. That's right. That's right. It would be. So let's see. And constituents, what are they? Not all wildly enthusiastic about a major source of support. So if you're not wildly enthusiastic about this, or maybe you think you just don't have time, or the government really hasn't affected you yet, you think it's all right for now, then at least be a constituent if you want to. I'm not begging anybody to be in this. This is for you. You know, you can still be a major source of support, because the more constituents, the more antagonists that we have, the better. And we're going to win hearts and minds. And beneficiaries are all of the public. If public good, clean up water or government corruption, broad, not one for a specific group, all benefit. Then free riders, not contributing neither sympathetic support nor tangible resources, but benefit specific cases. Then only some people are beneficial. So this movement is to reduce the disparity between the rich and the poor, to reduce government corruption, people in power that are corrupt, our judiciary, our tax system, and reduce the price of food. And so everyone is going to benefit from power to you, the people, except for the rich, and they're going to have to pay their fair share, and some of them will benefit. So constituency is not, even if you're not wildly supportive, at least support the cause. And then there are the antagonists. Antagonists are people who don't support the movement. We're protagonists. They are antagonists. Now these are people standing in opposition to a movement's adherents and constituents. They are targets of the action. So we are fighting against the government in the state of Tennessee, against people in power, not against the government. Government's good. We are the government. We're fighting against people that have infiltrated our government and trying to make change. And hello, how's it going? And trying to make appropriate change. So that antagonists are people in government power that have taken over our government, the state, and wherever you're at, all over the world. In the UK, maybe the corrupt government there, corrupt people in power there, or whatever state you're in. I don't know. I know about Tennessee. I know it's dirty. A lot of people tell me it's that way everywhere. I don't know. It may be or may not be. I know for a fact. I've lived it, seen it, experienced it with my own eyes, how dirty it is in the state of Tennessee. So the people in power in the state of Tennessee are the targets of this social movement, to hold them accountable, to make them uphold their oath, to make them adjudicate fairly, to make them stop giving their kids money, our money, so that they can go to strip joints and other bad things. They're the target of this movement. So here's what they do. So when we try to make them honest, there's counter movements may engage. Goal to halt or neutralize the goal attainment qualities of the movement in question. So they have, there may be counter movements that show up to try to stop us, and people in power will try to stop us, like the one on this YouTube page, and several of them trying to say bad stuff about me. They are antagonist trying to stop the movement. Don't let them do that. And you know, we're not going to stop. I don't care what they say. They're lying. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I mean, just look at their pictures. So bystanders, elements of the community who are initially uninterested in the issue, no stake, a lot interested, but interested can be activated. So bystanders, and there's a lot of bystanders, and these are people that aren't interested in the movement. So it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. So we'll get under the bridge down here. So bystanders. Now there are people everywhere that aren't going to be interested in the movement, but they might be later. They might be later, and I'll explain to you that. So they're potential protagonists, they're potential constituents, they're potential people that will help us. I forgot my water. They're potential people that will help us in the future. So everyone is a potential to help us in the movement. So keep everyone in mind. Let's get my water here, because I might get thirsty. It's a long trip back to the house. So bystanders. These are people that are involved in the movement, or not involved in the movement, but could be bystanders. Well, let's be good to everybody. Let me see how many people got on here. It's raining. So we'll get under the bridge. This is the Public Policy Center that we told you about, the dirty, no, I'm not saying Howard Baker's dirty, but this is where they, School of Public Policy and Public Affairs, where they set public affairs and public policy for the government against Americans, I believe. I don't think this is a good place. They had a meeting here where they promoted judges, and they said that they would have, wow, it's going to be noisy. They said that they would have public opinion, public comment appreciated. And then when I tried to public comment, they wouldn't let me. So it's raining at one place and it's noisy at the other. So yeah, wow. So if it stays this way, what we'll do is we will continue this tomorrow and give you the rest of the story, the rest of the social movement tomorrow. The notes that I have here and the facts that I have, and ask you all to join our social movement organization, Power to You the People, and we'll have the rest of it tomorrow at same back channel, same back place. And just give you a little sampling. What we'll probably talk about tomorrow is the riot in 1970 in a New Mexico prison that contributed to strain, and we'll continue to define the social movement and talk about the factors that cause a social movement, and talk about the different elements that we need to have. And also tomorrow I'm going to talk about this case right here. A man that I know that the news is trying to hang out. We'll tell you my thoughts on Ray Fairclough, who's being tried for murder. And we'll show you this right here. This will mean something to you tomorrow about what they did to me. These are 4 deputies that got killed, 4 officers that got killed in 2011. We'll explain to you tomorrow that their significance of them getting killed, and have another show for you tomorrow. Let's see how long we've been on here, how many people got. So we've been going about an hour and a half. So tomorrow morning we will talk about the rest of social movements, organizations, and go through the rest of my notes, tell you those interesting stories about Ray Fairclough and the officers that got killed, and do research, come up with another topic of interest to y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Please join. Power to you, the people. We can make a change for the better in the state of Tennessee to reduce the disparity between the rich and the poor, to get a fair and just judicial system. And we'll have some more information. Please like, share, comment, and if you can, contribute. So the last thing we'll say, we'll be back on here tomorrow about 6 o'clock, 6:30, maybe a little earlier. And last thing I always say is God bless you all, I pray, and God loves you, and I do too. Till tomorrow morning.